Tottenham's attack looks frightening, not just improved, frightening. Mohammed Kudus has landed from West Ham, Richarlison looks reborn, and now a true creator has entered the picture.
Xavi turns, scores! Xavi scores an absolute marvellous!
But just how dangerous is this new attack? And where exactly does the latest signing fit in? For the first time in over a decade, Tottenham finished a Premier League season without a single player breaking into the top 10 goal scorers. That statistic alone paints a clear picture of their attacking struggles. The team's highest contributor was Brennan Johnson, who ended the campaign with 11 goals and 3 assists. Good numbers, but for a club with Spurs' ambitions, that was simply not enough. Even more concerning was the decline of Heung-min Son. At 33, the captain looked a shadow of his former self. He still led the team in combined contributions with 7 goals and 9 assists. But those numbers were a far cry from his explosive peak seasons. The reality was hard to ignore. Tottenham's longtime talisman could no longer carry the attack on his own. Replacing Harry Kane had already proven impossible. Dominic, brought in as the supposed solution at center forward, managed just 9 goals and 3 assists. Richarlison fared even worse, struggling for form and confidence. James Maddison offered some relief, scoring 9 goals and providing 7 assists, but injuries disrupted his rhythm. A knee problem ended his previous campaign early, and this season a ruptured ACL has likely ruled him out for the majority of 2025 to 26. Dejan Kulusevski faced his own injury troubles too, finishing with just 7 goals and 4 assists. All of this meant Tottenham relied on contributions from across the squad rather than a true focal point. Goals were spread, but never consistent, and without a reliable match winner, they constantly fell short in big moments. It was obvious to everyone, if Spurs wanted to compete again, something had to change. The first piece of the puzzle was Kudus. Mohammed Kudus is a footballer who feels unstoppable when he's in full flow. For 2 consecutive seasons, he ranked second in the Premier League for take-ons attempted per 90 minutes, only behind Jeremy Doku. That alone tells you just how fearless he is on the ball. But it's not just the volume of dribbles that makes him special, it's the efficiency. Kudus consistently beats his man, combining quick feet, strength, and acceleration in a way that few defenders can handle. When he drives forward, it looks effortless, almost like he's gliding. In tight spaces, he can twist past opponents with subtle touches, but in open games, he becomes a devastating ball carrier capable of racing the length of the pitch. His body positioning is equally impressive. He shields the ball superbly using his low center of gravity and strong legs to hold off challenges. That ability to protect possession while constantly shifting direction makes him incredibly difficult to dispossess. There are countless examples of Kudus using this blend of strength and agility to carve through defenses. He can spin past one opponent, change direction to lose another, and then burst into space before defenders even know what's happened. What stands out most is his intelligence. He doesn't dribble for the sake of it. He waits for the perfect moment to accelerate, often catching defenders flat-footed. Skeptics point to his modest goals and assists tally last season, but context is key. He was playing in a West Ham side that struggled for creativity and often sat deep. Even then, he still produced moments of brilliance, carrying the team forward when nothing else was working. At Tottenham, in a far more attacking setup, those same qualities should translate into far greater output. It's worth remembering how explosive his debut Premier League season was. Playing largely in his preferred role on the right wing, he scored 18 goals and added 10 assists across all competitions, form that earned him recognition as one of the league's best newcomers. The following season, he was shuffled across multiple positions to cover injuries, which limited his consistency but highlighted his versatility. Kudus can operate centrally, on the left, or even as a striker, but his most dangerous role is cutting inside from the right onto his stronger left foot. From there, he can either beat his man directly or unleash powerful shots from range. Tottenham's system, with its emphasis on fluid attacking movement, is the perfect stage for him to shine. At just 24, Kudus already has the skill set of a star. He brings unpredictability, raw power, and creativity, exactly what Tottenham's attack has been missing. If Thomas Frank uses him in his best role, Kudus could become one of the league's most devastating wide forwards and a nightmare for any defender defender tasked with stopping him. But that was just the start. Enter Xavi Simons, a player who feels destined for the big stage. From the moment he stepped into senior football, his impact was undeniable. By the time he reached Germany, he was trusted immediately in high-pressure games, both in the Bundesliga and in Europe. His debut campaign produced 43 appearances across competitions, delivering 10 goals and 13 assists. In the league alone, he scored 7 times and provided 7 assists, more than anyone else in his squad. For a newcomer, those numbers were remarkable, and they were matched by the way he carried himself on the pitch. Fearless, creative, and constantly demanding the ball. What set Simons apart early was his versatility. He could play as an attacking midfielder, drift wide into left-sided pockets, or even operate as a hybrid winger. His movement was relentless. He never stood still, always carrying the ball into advanced areas and forcing defenders to make decisions. Few players attempted more dribbles in the Bundesliga that season, and many of those carries directly resulted in chances. By his second year, he had evolved into a complete attacking threat, scoring 10 goals and adding 7 assists in just 25 league matches, while outperforming his expected goals tally by almost 5. That kind of finishing efficiency placed him in the company of Europe's most clinical forwards. But Simons is far from a selfish scorer. His chance creation was among the best in Germany, averaging close to 2 key passes per game and ranking among the league leaders for passes into the box. He wasn't just involved occasionally, he was central to almost every attacking sequence. Sometimes the finisher, often the provider, but always the connector. His football IQ and quick decision-making meant that he tied moves together seamlessly. By the time Tottenham came calling, Simons had 78 appearances in Germany, 22 goals, 24 assists, and a German Super Cup to his name, all before his 22nd birthday. It's no wonder Europe's biggest clubs circled. Tottenham's decision to secure him for around 60 million euros was not just a transfer, it was a statement. They had beaten rivals to one of Europe's brightest attacking midfielders, a Dutch international with Champions League pedigree and the personality to lead a project. At Spurs, his role is clear. With Maddison sidelined and creativity in short supply, Simons offers exactly what's been missing. A fearless ball carrier, a passer who can unlock defenses, and a scorer with the ability to decide big games. Whether drifting wide or operating as a central number 10, he provides the spark that can elevate Tottenham's attack. Together with Kudus, he forms a duo of technical brilliance and unpredictability. Simons is still young, but his trajectory is pointed firmly towards superstardom. For Tottenham, this is more than just a signing for today. It's a foundation for the future, a player capable of shaping the identity of their attack for years to come. But the attack cannot be complete without a striker. The raw ability is undeniable. He's strong in the air, timing his leaps perfectly to score headers. He has that touch of Brazilian flair, capable of curling a finish into the far post with elegance. And of course, there are the acrobatic moments. Few forwards in the modern game have a highlight reel packed with as many overhead and bicycle kicks. From Everton to Tottenham and even the Brazilian national team, Richarlison has built a reputation for producing spectacular goals. But with him, the question has never been about talent. It's been about consistency. For every stunning strike, there's been a spell of silence. Weeks, sometimes months, without a goal. It's what has made him such a polarizing figure, a player who can look like a world beater one day and go missing the next. That's where the arrival of Thomas Frank could be transformative. If history is any guide, Richarlison may be on the verge of the most productive spell of his career. Frank has an impressive track record of elevating strikers, taking them from raw or overlooked talents to prolific goal scorers. At Brentford, Neil Maupay was the first example. Signed from Stade Brest, he went from scoring 13 goals in his debut season to exploding with 28 the next year, earning a move to Brighton. Then came Ollie Watkins, brought in from Exeter as a winger, but converted into a central striker. Under Frank, Watkins jumped from 12 goals in 2018 to 19 to 26 goals the following season before joining Aston Villa. The list doesn't end there. Ivan Toney became the face of Brentford's promotion charge after arriving from Peterborough, smashing 30 goals in the 2020 to 2021 season. He then proved himself in the Premier League with 20 goals in 2022 to 2023 before moving on to Al Ahly. Even Jon Wissa, initially seen as a squad option, thrived under Frank's system, netting 20 Premier League goals last season and securing a move to Newcastle. The pattern is clear. Frank identifies strikers, trusts them, and gives them the platform to thrive. Which brings us back to Richarlison. When Frank arrived at Tottenham, many expected Dominic Solanke to be the automatic first-choice striker. Instead, Frank turned to Richarlison. That decision speaks volumes. He sees qualities in the Brazilian that can be unlocked, just as he did with Mopé, Watkins, Tony, and Wissa. The potential rewards are huge. Richarlison has the physicality to battle defenders, the instinct to score in the box, and the flair to produce goals out of nothing. What he has often lacked is the structure and consistency of service. With Tottenham's new look attack, featuring creative forces like Mohammed Kudus and Xavi Simons, plus Frank's tactical blueprint, Richarlison could finally have everything he needs. This might just be the season where he breaks through that 20-goal barrier in the Premier League. But what makes this new Tottenham attack truly terrifying is the depth. Unlike previous seasons, where an injury to Maddison or Kulusevski completely disrupted their form, this squad finally has able replacements. If Richarlison gets injured or drops in form, Spurs now have Kolo Muani on loan, and even Solanke is still at the club. Kulusevski, who was one of their most dangerous attackers last season, can step in for Kudus when needed. And with Frank's adaptability and the versatility of these new signings, we could see endless combinations of how all these stars fit together. But as we all know, scoring goals is only half the story. So if you want to see whether Tottenham are truly contenders again, check out this next video.